We have Dinosaurs for you today, leaping into action. We have more Centurion, so happy to see that, and some Chimera innovations too. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more OTS content. Is that a 60 card dinosaur deck sporting off Dynamorphia? Yes, it is. It appears that we have been able to kind of re-engineer some of the success out here of deploying a Rexstrom off of a Kengrina and laughing at our opponent. Like, this is actually kind of cute, at least in terms of the ideas that you can bring. I also see we're playing a super actual conductor dinosaur. Once per turn, you contribute one monster, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. This card cannot declare an attack. When you activate this, dinosaurs have found their time card. Dinosaurs have a way to burn you for 1,000 damage in time. Yay! Things I didn't expect to see out here, but like this is incredibly interesting to me. Honestly, the fact that, you know, dinosaurs are able to set up and be aggressive. Also reciting royal decrees, no traps allowed. Okay, good stuff. Next up here, we have more Centurion, but we're playing a little bit of a Bisteel Lubellion with a mini package of Bisteel stuff. And then you do see, of course, we are playing the Horror stuff. You want to make sure that you are getting these level 8s on the field so that you can be aggressive. One interesting thing I do see down here is we are playing the Shufflers in the side deck. Maybe you want to make sure that you can set up your resources and do your thing. I also see that we're playing a Ceasefire for time. Come on. Like, this is the level of fun that we've reached in the game right now. Putting that aggression on your opponent. And, of course, I do see the Lulu Walleth in here as well. Yeah, you are getting away with some of the better Yu-Gi-Oh! That you can. Honestly, the fact that nobody's playing the other trap and we're just sticking to Phalanx, the counter trap is good, but I think Phalanx just kind of takes care of everything that you initially want it to do for this build. Next up here we have, so this is Chimera, but we're playing a Tri-Brigade package in here. Hey, it's Beast. Right? Now, if this package does backfire on you and you think it's absolutely garbage and, you know, you wanna play better things, well, post-side decking, I mean, you can bring in Nightmare Magicians and Master of the Tau Chanter. You have extra illusion monsters to kind of assist you in these things, and I think a lot of people kind of forget that Master Tau did come out. All right, all the one of illusion monsters that filter on into these sets that tend to help out these decks is super cute. All right, you gotta love it. I do see that we are playing TC Boost, as we should be. Maximizing on triple of this, playing the one Crow, that's fine. We have Space Rocks in here to cover our bases. Yeah, I don't really see... The only other thing that looks kind of weird to me is that they're playing an Abermax, but if you can get away with it, okay. Next up here, we have... Why are we playing Ken and Gen and Runic? What are we doing here? Have we just reached the point that people are so... They need to resolve the thrust and the talent. Give it to me now. To be fair, though, if you can resolve Ken and or Gen, you might be able to get access to some of the extra deck stuff and do some full armored Xyz plays and, you know, possibly level up into the full armored with possibly the Crystal Zero. There is a possibility of that being doable, but that's another interesting discussion for another day if this build actually lives up to the initial hype that I think that this is being given off. It's cute. Don't get me wrong. I just don't know if this is the route that I see myself wanting to explore with the deck. Next up here we have some Sword Soul. Hey! Finally! Something normal. Now, honestly, Sword Soul is anything but normal. Like, this deck has been power crept into oblivion at this point, and people do come back to this, all right? Don't get me wrong. I think that Sword Soul checks the marks as the old reliable, all right? Like, you return back to this deck when things maybe aren't going your way. And I see that we are playing double talents, 2 Vessel. We're playing one of the Sacred Summit for the Reborn. I'm a little bit intrigued by that. That seems kind of interesting. But as for everything else here, I'm not all that crazy about trying to change anything in this build. Like, once again, Sword Soul is the deck that feels so standardized in most of its builds at this point that, yeah, you can try to mess around with the ratios and you can try to change things, but once you've got the hold of things, you should be able to do pretty okay with it. Sword Soul is the consistent deck. Next up is Plunder Patrol. Holy moly, wow, we have some real challengers back here. So for Plunder Patrol, you are playing the good package of set up the token, look at your opponent and go, hey, what are you going to do about this? What can you do about this? Having that negate on your field ensures that you can do all the Plunder Patrol lines you need to do. Now, out of the OTS championships, obviously, if you have more people coming in from more of the rogue events, obviously you're going to have more challengers in the room that are going to try to break the meta. All right, that's the norm at this point. All right, like, that makes sense to me. I do think, though, that if you're trying to explore not playing this package, don't. Please stick to this. This is the thing that allows this deck to actually do Plunder Patrol things. Also, the triple Fenrir, also for the forms of interruption. Good stuff. We need one more ship, though, and I think that this deck can actually be a little bit more aggressive. Next up here, man, I'm getting the duality of Runic today. So this build is playing Majesty's Fiend. I'll be honest with you, back to the Amano Awado we go. I don't really think that you want to bulk down too much on the Fiend because books still are doing their thing, and this build is exploring double Scrub Draid. I am not a huge fan of Scrub Draid. I've made that very vocal on this channel, but it is cute because it does turn off, your skill drain if it is jamming you in an inappropriate way. Post side decking, I mean, bribes, organisms, skill drains, and of course some lava golems and spooky dogwoods. The fact no sphere modes, though, is kind of interesting. I mean, it depends on how your meta is, but I think most of what we're covering down here should be good. I mean, once again, this was OTS weekend. The heavy meta players are coming out. You are going to have to deal with a lot of the big challengers. Next up here, we have Vanquish Soul, sporting off the old 40 cards with the power of TC Boo built into the main deck. I see that our Dust Devil has been kicked to the side deck. Most people that do play Dust Devil, it's a good card, don't get me wrong, but it's more of like a going second kind of thing. I guess their general mentality here is most of this stuff can handle itself. Also, only one Kaiser Varius. We are really kicking things down here, which, interesting. See, we are playing the one copy of the Snow Devil, okay, and then, of course, the one Ricer. You want to make sure that you can get to the fire. It's the only reason why you play this. It's the reveal, the fire in the hand, keep the aggression on your opponent. I see that we are playing Dempsey down here as well. All right, sure. I guess all the more little interesting things that you can bring to the table with Vanquish Soul. This deck is so very interesting to me for the things that it still gets away with doing. Next up here we have, see that we are playing the Jack Atlas Turbo deck. Alright, so this is Archfiend good stuff, synchro pile, where, toggle down through Lubellion, get your interruptions set up, and then you start setting up the numbers that you need to get to whichever big synchro you need. Also, the fact this deck can make Red Supernova Dragon, it's so scary. Like, if you've played against Red Supernova, you know how stupid that this card can be, and this build is actually meant to be able to turbo out Red Supernova and start laughing at your opponent. Also, this. See that we do side the 2 balls, 2 golems, no real problems there. We do have the Exceed Encores. We are also playing triple Crossout Designator here. So this is in case, your opponent starts putting more of that aggression on you. You start seeing hand traps. This card ends your day. Actually, so does this card. Yeah, we have 2 very, very stupid hand traps here that can end a Synchro deck's entire existence. You gotta love the giant rock in the sky that just says absolutely no to the opponent. Well, okay, and our last list out of this is we have Phantom Knights. Again, I'm not gonna lie, I'm happy to see that players are exploring Phantom Knights. Alright, the fact that the Phantom Knight stuff with the Horus package is just free dump outlets. A lot of people have said don't play this build, but it has been the most successful version of Phantom Knights at this point. You know, setting up the fog blades for the negations is actually incredibly good. And you've also got droplets as well. Like, okay. I also see that we're citing triple magic deflector in here as well. So if you really need to have access to the note cards, you have them. So what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.